he did the move that Tom wishes he could. Like, David used to do comedy vlogs on YouTube, and he gained a huge audience, and because his audience is mostly kids, they'll just watch him do anything, and they think him flying on a private jet is cool and worth paying attention to. So he managed to go over to Snapchat, and he signed an exclusive contract with them, I believe, and he gets paid a ton of money for it, and all he has to do is just take pictures of his life, because he's David Dobrik, and he's private, he's going to nice hotels, he's going to cool places, he's going to fancy restaurants. That's all he has to do, is just basically live the life as a celebrity, and he gets paid for it. That is what Tom Segura wishes he was doing, which, you know, a lot of people wish they were doing that, but Tom, I think he was trying to pull that off, and he's slowly starting to realize it's not happening. But he's still kind of trying. You know, like recently on TikTok, he posted this video that's supposed to be a parody of like a day in the life kind of thing, where he does a vlog of his day. And you could tell he really enjoyed making the TikTok, and he'll probably continue to do it.
Is that? Can you hear me? It's Thomas. I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
Kaioken! Someone save me!
I'm an android, you see, and you
Thanks.
can call me by my name, Cell.
Pump this party, beep, 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 beep.
Kaioken!
Welcome. Thank you. This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them. You found a power key. Go slot it. Welcome.
Kaioken!
Soon.
Dude, are you fucking kidding
It will
me?
be complete.
That was perfectly timed. They should have fucking grabbed onto the fucking wall.
That's a new power key. Place it now.
Oh, there's one over here.
Flying Nimbus! I want that.
Great. You know what to do with that key.
They're close.
Oh, dude!
Kaioken!
Well, yeah, dude, like that fuck. Why the fuck is he spamming me? There's like 2 people in front of him.
That's a new power key. Place it now. Hey, great. You found another power key. Use it quick. Ally down. If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies.
Scouter, it's literally the only fucking thing you find in those. Hey, yo man, you got some fucking... Oh. Oh shit. And yeah.
Kaioken! All right!
An ally needs your help. We don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in. Ally down! If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies.
Stacy, can't you see? You're just not the girl for me.
The startup system
What a
for the
shame.
super time machine is ready. Head there now.
An unfortunate turn of events. Where is the machine?
They're close.
Dude, I don't have instant rise.
Startup system's under attack. It's dangerous.
Kaioken!
Carefully if you want to get closer.
What the fuck, bro? How the fuck did that miss?
An ally needs your help. We don't know what danger awaits. Think before.
Kaioken! Kaioken! Ha-ha! Serious?
Holy shit, I survived. Yoink.
The startup system is under attack. Stop it if you can, but retreat if you need to.
right!
Summon Shinron at the altar.
Kaioken! Kaioken!
Dude, what the fuck was that? It didn't even fucking track.
Now, state your wish. I shall grant. Consider it done.
Serious? Impossible! Flying Nimbus!
Well,
What? Impossible.
And whatever, you know, if this is what makes him happy, at least it's better than him flipping out about poor people or having meltdowns at airports.
Now it's time to put an outfit together. I think this looks pretty cool. I'm feeling pretty fresh. I'm feeling good about myself. Time to knock out a little bit of work. You know what? I think it might be time for another coffee. This is good. This one is an espresso blend also. I'm really getting into espressos this time of year. So now, pre-show. You know, I like to go to the gym. Today I'm going to do chest and back. These dumbbells, they only go up to 50. I'm trying to get stronger. Hopefully this works. These full extension push-ups are way more range than I'm used to. It's really tough to keep your hips up, but I'm working on it. Doing a little bit of back too. Do the back if you're going to do the front. Now it's time for another outfit change. Ooh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments if you want to see more of that from Tom. And also, I just wanted to mention Steve-O actually recently gave me a shout out on his podcast. He said he's a big fan of the channel. So Steve-O, if you're watching, thanks, I appreciate it. And if you guys haven't seen the clip of him talking about the channel, I'll put it at the end of this video. But also, make sure you guys go check out my Patreon account. There's a ton of extra content on there. I just got done talking about the Jimmy Kimmel and Aaron Rodgers controversy, and also Brendan addressing the whole George situation. And there's just so much other stuff on there. So if you like the channel and you watched all the videos and you want more, I highly recommend it. I think there are probably over 50, maybe 60 videos on there at this point, and most of the description. And then hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you at the next video.
There was a, and this particularly hurt because there's a YouTube channel that I watch a lot of. It's called Too Lazy to Try. I think it's spelled with the number 2. Too Lazy to Try. And there's I think they got like more views than usual on their video essay about how it says Steve-O's podcast appearances are a mess. And tons of viewership on it. And yeah, 209,000 views.
Like his patience with her questions and her like goofiness is getting kind of low. Like you could kind of tell just from the beginning of the podcast, like before the guest even showed up, they're talking, and she made this joke that I think she always does, and Tom usually does it too, but I guess she also says it to people outside of the podcast who have no idea what she's talking about because it's kind of an inside joke. And Tom brings that up to her because I think he's getting kind of embarrassed by it. He's like, I see you make this joke to people, and the look on their face is like, what is this lady talking about?
I went to New York the other day, and I'm very excited.
Sorry, where?
New York.
I don't think you're pronouncing that right. The audience doesn't know where you're talking about.
Where would they understand?
Hello, Judork titties, Judork.
The fact that you say that to people openly all the time.
Yeah.
And I watch their brain go, oh, yeah, and they're like, what did you say? Like, I see them do it all the time, and they're like, Judork.
You know why? Because I'm halfway to dead now. Even actually, I'm over halfway to dead.
That's very true.
And I've decided I'm just gonna have fun. I'm just gonna have fun. If it doesn't hurt anybody, I'm just having a good time.
And that's what she did this podcast. You know, she was just doing her own thing, saying whatever she wanted. But Tom, you know, he wants to be a little more serious. He wants to have serious interviews, and it doesn't mix well, but it is funny to watch. And now, like I said in the beginning, he just needs to do this with Bert Kreischer. But it seems like whenever they do interviews on Two Bears, One Cave, it's just one of them and a guest. Maybe because Tom realized he just wouldn't be able to handle it with Bert. Like, he probably realized it's better off just one of them there talking to a guest. And I'm sure next time Tom talks to Jimmy Carr or any other British person, it'll probably be by himself on Two Bears, One Cave. Because I don't know if Tom wants to put up with this from Christina again. But let me know what you guys think about it all down in the comments. Let me know if you think they're going to get a divorce or not. And then make sure you go check out my Patreon account. There's a ton of extra content on there that's only available on there. Like, if you want to hear about the degeneracy of Ari Shaffir, or if you want to hear about the time Patton Oswalt took a picture with Dave Chappelle and had to apologize for it, or if you want to hear about the worst podcast of all time, or one of the most hated people in comedy, make sure you go check it out. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be taking a look back at a class. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about Andrew Schulz because the fake outrageous laughing on his podcast just keeps getting worse somehow. I know you have to play it up a little bit for podcasts, but this is getting pretty bad. You know, people think that Jimmy Fallon and Bert Kreischer get carried away with it, but honestly, I think Andrew Schulz is worse than both of them. I mean, I don't think I've seen anyone else get this bad with it, but at least it is nice for the guests that go on his show because they probably leave the podcast thinking they're the funniest person alive. Or thinking, what the hell was Andrew on? Because that's the only other explanation here. Like, recently, Sebastian Maniscalco was on his podcast, and I'm sure halfway through it, he was thinking, is this dude alright? Like, what is going on here? I mean, he could barely even get one word out without Schulz and Akash just laughing uncontrollably. Like, right here, they're talking about tipping valets, and Schulz says that Joe Rogan tips $200, and Sebastian's like, oh, that's a little aggressive. And then, of course, Schulz just loses it. And then he asks Sebastian if he tips them. And he's like, you know, every once in a while. And then Schulz, he does that move where he's laughing so hard, he has to stand up and walk away. Or, like, go wrestle with Akash or something. I don't know what he's doing. And then Sebastian's like, all right, dude, take it easy. Like, why are you walking around?
It's 100. Picks it up. It's 100.
Okay, that's aggressive.
Yeah.
He's responsible. He just said he was responsible. He's responsible.
Okay. So say you're drunk. What about the store or the Improv back in the day? Like, you're just dropping your car off.
Every once in a while, you tip those guys.
Set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
Someone! You have my thanks.
Are people like incapable of fucking reading now? Oh wow, I really got caught off guard actually. You know I'm not
Great! You know what to do with that key. Hey, great! You found another power key. Use it quick!
You're my savior.
An ally needs your help. We don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in.
Where's the transfer, dude? Hey yo, get that shit!
Ally down! If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies.
Don't tell me the fucking transfer is the one reviving. Thank God.
Kaioken!
4 more. Okay. Yeah, this machine should be enough if I can fucking take it before this guy does. Here we go. Here we go.
Welcome. Thank you. Close.
We are Gucci. Yo guys, we are Gucci. Alright.
Great! You know what to do with that key.
Oh, what the fuck?
This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise.
Dude, like, what the fuck is... What?
Kaioken! Flying Nimbus!
Perfect fucking timing, because I knew it was gonna happen. And...
Oh, no, no, no!
Well, rip.
What a relief.
Someone on A? No one's on A. Hey yo, so why the fuck hasn't he cancelled it?
They're close.
You're just gonna give him free change to do that little fucking damage? Dude. My fucking god, why? Look at that evolution he's got. Like, you're not fucking helping at all.
Kaioken! Ah! Flying Nimbus! You serious?
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Keep him occupied. Keep him off that shit.
Access the startup system from the central area. Just a little more to go, then you're done.
I-OK! They're close.
Super transfer is heading your way. Changing now. An ally needs your help. We don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in.
I-OK! Serious?
What the hell, bro?
I-OK!
I'll send some supplies to help. Make
Welcome.
good use of them.
Close.
Can people just stay the fuck away from him? Oh my god. Please don't kill me. Oh my god. Okay, 2 people have changed.
Flying Nimbus!
Wait, I have I can do this.
You serious?
I did that.
System is under attack. Stop it if you can, but retreat if you need to. Got it? I sent you a super transfer. Use it to hold the enemy back.
Bro! They're doing what they can. Dude, are you? Fuck this game. Holy shit, why the fuck, like, I'm not going in the fucking beam, I'm on the side. This fucking game never ceases to be such a giant pile of steaming hot shit. Christ.
I gotta stand up now. Cyanic.
I feel like I gotta start moving around.
Like I'm there every night. What do you mean? What do you
every
mean
time.
What do you mean every once
Every once in a while. I don't.
Hey, you're right.
I generally park my own car there and then I leave. But every once in a while, I'll give the guy whoever's running, I'll give him $50 or $100.
Okay, but that's it. That's not in every single time.
It's not every time thing.
Why is
I don't know. It's just sometimes I don't have my wallet on me or whatnot. I don't have like cash available, and sometimes I'm like, all right, I ain't tipping today.
You don't even have a car. See, New Yorkers don't have cars, so they don't even understand.
Well, I bought a fake Porsche, but then it broke down.
You bought a fake Porsche?
Yeah, fake Porsche.
Kid car. Oh, a kid car.
Yeah, I bought a kid car.
On purpose?
He got hustled. He got hustled. It was a Persian businessman.
Yeah, but it's still over there.
Wait, you looking for a kid car?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, do you want a kid? I got a nice kid.
We can't just skip over what just happened.
What
here.
just happened right there?
You don't know if you got a car?
You like that? You like that?
Did we shower?
You like that?
Just hot in here, right?
Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Because you're moving. You're standing up. So
it always gets hot when I do this podcast for some reason.
And it was like this most of the podcast. You know, pretty much everything Sebastian said, Andrew would start laughing like it's the funniest thing he's ever heard. And it's usually just him and Akash laughing this hard. You know, his other two co-hosts, the guys on the couch, Alex and Mark, they have normal reactions for the most part. You know, they laugh like normal people. Same thing with Sebastian. So seeing them compared to Andrew and Akash is pretty funny. You know, it's like his other two co-hosts are on a completely different podcast. But it's good because it shows how normal people react and probably how the audience is reacting compared to Andrew and Akash doing this fake forced laugh that just makes things awkward. And it's funny because Schultz talks shit about Seinfeld because it's not realistic enough and he thinks characters like Kramer are too over the top. But it sounds like he's just describing himself and how he acts on his podcast, where you're supposed to be more authentic compared to a TV show. And it's funny because one time Nate Bargatze called him out on it. He had the perfect response.
Didn't care for it. I was like, okay.
All right, so even though Logan Paul won his fight against Dylan Nate,
like, look how
when you were
quirky
like
everybody
7
is.
years old.
7 years old. I swear to God, I put it on, and I hated the way that Kramer would walk in. I'd be like, you're not gonna walk into someone's house like that. Like, I'm just not gonna let you in my house. Like, if you're gonna keep on bursting in the fucking door, it's just stupid.
I mean, you dance around in here all the time. Well, you're the Kramer now, dude. No, what are you doing? Like,
you gotta see my N-word bit too, bro.
And of course, Schultz responds to that by doing some ridiculous laugh. But at least he seemed to understand what Nate was saying. And also, this would be a good time to plug my Patreon account because I have a video about Kramer, you know, Michael Richards' infamous meltdown at the Laugh Factory, along with a ton of other stuff. So if you're interested, make sure you go check it out. I'll put a link. Dennis, I think somehow Dylan came out of it more confident than Logan. And the next day, Dylan went on Piers Morgan and was talking about how he could beat John Jones and Khabib. And I know that's just kind of Dylan's character at this point, but this was definitely more of a humbling experience for Logan. You know, he did a podcast the next day, and you could tell he realized he proved nothing with this fight, and everything he had to deal with leading up to it was not worth it in the end. I mean, he even admitted that he regrets ever taking the fight, and he said he's disappointed in his performance. And also Mike Malak was even grilling him during the podcast and asking some tough questions, and Logan really had no response. I mean, Mike was comparing Logan's fight to KSI versus Tommy Fury, and he said their fight was much more intense, and you could tell those two just wanted to kill each other. But then when it comes to Logan, Mike said he can't think of anybody that Logan could face where you'd see that same intensity, and Logan didn't even really deny it.
You see these two animals jump into the ring, two dogs. The fight is visually and innately different between those two people versus the fight that we had just seen moments earlier.
You're talking about KSI and Tommy.
KSI and Tommy Fury. A clashing of two
wanted to
animals.
fight. Two guys that wanted to fight.
And every time their bodies hit together, there was a sound and the sweat fight, and they were just cracking that fucking right hand over and over. And it was like, yo, one of these two is dead set on murdering the other person in the ring. And has no inkling of a non-desirability of staying in the pocket and getting the shit beat out of them to get it done. Do you know what I'm saying? And in my mind, I'm saying to myself, I don't know who the opponent is for Logan where the fight looks like that.
grew up in a small town in central Arkansas. Every deer season around November, my family and I would go to our hunting cabin near Mena, Arkansas. My great-grandpa built the cabin in 1984. It was a nice cabin for the time. It's slightly outdated now, but it worked fine for my family and friends and I. 2 years ago, my friends Austin and Cody went with me to the cabin in late October for a pre-season hunt called muzzleload hunting. We were scouting an area about a mile from the cabin looking for any signs of deer because we were considering putting a stand near the spot. After splitting up and wandering around trying to find an area with the best lines of sight for a stand, I came across a pile of rocks in the woods. After closer inspection, I realized it was a grave belonging to a man named Ed Crane. We were not bothered, more interested than anything. We snapped a couple pics, and after finding a decent spot for a stand, we headed back to the cabin. Cody tried doing some research to find anything out about Ed Crane, but he didn't come up with a whole lot. Fast forward 3 weeks, we're back at the cabin for the official modern gun season. This time it's just Austin and I. We were sitting in the cabin discussing where we should go for opening day, and I decided I would try out the stand we had previously put up during muzzle loading season. Austin went about 1.5 miles the other direction towards a small lake off the property to hunt. I left the cabin around 4:45 a.m. because I had about 1.5 mile walk and wanted plenty of time to walk slow and get to the stand before daylight. This isn't a national forest and you cannot drive any vehicles into the hunting trails. We split up at the end of the road, me going left towards the stand and Austin going the opposite direction. It was a normal walk for the most part. I've been in these woods since I was 9 years old, and a mile walk was nothing out of the ordinary. I finished my walk and approached the stand, trying to be quiet as to not scare any deer that are bedding in the area. As the sun slowly started to rise, I couldn't help but keep looking over to my right to see the grave we had previously found. It was around 30 yards from where I was sitting, and it was thinly buried in surrounding brush. There was just enough light to make out the mound of rocks through the leaves. I saw something move out of the left side corner of my vision. This was not frightening at all. I'm completely used to seeing movement early in the morning while hunting. If anything, this was exciting. I turned fully to the left, but I could not locate what I was looking at. There was no movement. About that time, I heard, "Hey," in an almost whisper scream coming from behind me. This made me physically jump so hard that I shook the stand. I flung my head around backwards, but there was nothing there that I could make out. After turning on my headlamp and panning my surrounding area for at least 5 to 6 minutes, I took out my hand radio. While shaking, I radioed to Austin asking if he was near me. I got no response. I continued calling in on the radio, while looking back and forth for the next 20 minutes. Daylight was approaching, and after chalking it up to being in my head, I finally started to calm down. The sun rose up over the trees, burning off the thin layer of fog that was covering the woods. This is around 7 a.m. now. I had almost forgotten about the incident when I heard it again. This time, "Hey Caleb." It was in the same whisper-type scream as before. This time it was enough. I grabbed my bag and gun so fast. I accidentally left the hand radio on the seat beside me in the stand. I climbed down the ladder so fast I almost slipped off. I hit the ground and speed walked all the way back to the cabin, peering over my back every 10 to 20 steps. I opened the cabin door, and Austin was nowhere to be seen. He was still hunting. When Austin finally did return to the cabin, he was confused. He kept asking if that was me screaming into the radio. I explained to him my experience, and I explained I never screamed. His radio was clipped to his belt while he was standing in the doorway trying to make sense of what had happened, and right as we were talking about it, his radio started making this incoherent screeching sound. Not a static sound. It sounded organic, like some kind of animal was making it. We listened intently and sat the radio right beside us for the rest of the day. It never happened again. We came back later that week with our other friend Cody, and I looked for my radio in the stand and on the ground around it. It was nowhere to be found. Needless to say, we no longer hunt in that spot. We don't even hunt anywhere in that direction past the gate. It was the weirdest, most unexplainable experience of my life.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
It was a cold December night. I was hanging out with a few friends, Todd and Tristan. We were bored and had nothing to do. So one of us came up with the idea of going to the nearby train station platform to take some pictures and goof off. The platform isn't far from our houses. When we got there, we started taking pictures.
Fucking Broly again. Nice. The Return of the King. Gallen is a beast medic, okay.
Can you hear me? It's Trunks. I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
Welcome.
Kaioken! This is it!
Uh-oh. You found a power key. Go slot it. I sent you a super transfer. Use it to hold the enemy back.
Stacy's mom has got it going on. Waited so long, Stacy, can't you see? You're just not the girl for me. Burn it. Burn it.
That's a new power key. Place it now.
Burn it. Burn it. Damn, I need a fourth one. God damn it.
Ally down. If you
You be careful too, okay?
watch out for enemies.
Alright. I know exactly what I need to do.
Kaioken!
Great. You know what to do with that key.
Or is she gonna give me the slip? Give me the slip. Stacy's mom has got it going on.
Hey, great. You found another power key. Use it quick.
Damn, I could have gotten fucking level 3 right now if I took that. Whatever. I'm probably making it. There's gotta be some fucking machine somewhere. Maybe. Well, I tried to mark it.
Super transfer. Use it to hold the enemy back.
You know you're not gonna go down on me. No, baby, can't you see? Damn. Please don't tell me it was some shitty player that took it now. Who is it? Mikey? Oh my god, Mikey, not Mikey. Why fucking Mikey?
They're close.
An ally needs your help. You don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in.
Let's do this. All right. They're close.
Dude, what is he doing? Get fucking in there! Look at this fucking loser! Oh my god. My god, dude, like what the fuck are you doing? Like, he's literally stuck there doing his super and you're just like key blast, just fucking combo him and cancel that shit. Jesus Christ, we do so well with the keys and then just because fucking Mikey picks it up, it's completely over. It's completely fucking over. I go in there trying to fucking help. Doesn't do fucking shit, this guy. Complete fucking waste of space. Seriously, how the fuck do you not take advantage of that?
Pictures of the
like,
liminal
first
space
of
we
all,
found ourselves in.
you get a look of where
After
he
hanging
is
out
when
there
he's
for a little
fucking
while, it started getting
vanish
even
kicking,
colder
and
we were
then
hungry.
he's taking the time to do
So
a
we started
slow
to
ass
head to our
super,
car.
and you're still not
That
even
takes
doing
us on a long
anything.
footbridge across a canal. We spent some time on the bridge joking around and taking more pictures. The mood could not have been better, but the cold was getting to us, so we started back on our way again. The bridge was not wide enough for the three of us to walk side to side. I was walking in front, Todd and Tristan behind me. We were joking and chatting as we walked. Tristan said something funny, and I turned, still walking and laughing at what he said, when I noticed a man walking just feet behind Tristan. He looked to be in his late 30s. His face was dirty, and he was wearing a black and white plaid shirt and ball cap. His arms were down at his sides. In one hand was a cigarette, and in the other was a large kitchen knife, clear as day. My blood ran cold when I saw it. I quickly spun back around, pretending I hadn't seen him. For some reason, I thought that was the best thing to do. My fight or flight kicked in, and I found myself speed walking to the end of the bridge. I hoped that my friends would catch on and match my pace.
Christopher Brian Hill is an urban explorer with a YouTube channel called Urbex Hill. Over the past 10 years, he's been uploading raw footage of his visits to some of the creepiest abandoned buildings in the country, often running into unexpected and sometimes life-threatening situations. Urban explorers like Chris face many dangers. From aggressive stray dogs to hostile squatters to respiratory risks and unsound structures, venturing into an unfamiliar abandoned building is much more risky than it might sound. It's obviously much safer to explore abandoned buildings in the light of day and with a group of friends, but in most of his videos, Chris explores at night and always alone. In June 2022, he visited the abandoned Westinghouse Electric Factory located in Cleveland, Ohio. Built more than a century ago, the factory originally consisted of 7 different buildings, but most of them have been demolished by now. Even though the Westinghouse Company was established in 1886, it didn't reach Cleveland until 1894. Founded by Thomas Edison, Westinghouse is best known for the notable engineers who worked for the company, including Nikola Tesla and William Stanley. For several decades, the Westinghouse Company rivaled General Electric, and it was last used as a lighting equipment production plant before its abandonment in 1979. For the past 4.5 decades, the abandoned factory has been one of the hottest urban exploration locations for curious explorers and YouTubers. In 2012, the factory started receiving even more attention after the Black Widow interrogation scene from the first movie of the Avengers was shot there. 10 years later, Chris made the trip to the abandoned factory and recorded everything he saw. As Chris begins exploring, there doesn't seem to be anyone around, and only the sound of crickets can be heard in the darkness as he walks around the outside of the building. Disturbingly, the sound of gunshots can be heard in the distance less than 5 minutes into the recording. It's worth mentioning that for the past few years, Cleveland has been ranked as one of the top 10 most dangerous cities in the US, making this visit to the abandoned factory even more risky.
That's Cleveland. Wow. That's crazy. It's not even that far away from here. Oh, that sounds like a shootout.
Chris has experience exploring everything from abandoned mental hospitals and sanatoriums to vacant occult temples, and he shrugs off the fear as he enters the creepy building. Just like in many abandoned buildings, Chris finds a mattress on the floor, meaning at least one person has been sleeping there recently. As he captures footage of the first floor and walks up the stairs to the second floor, all that can be heard in the eerie darkness is the sound of his footsteps. A few minutes later, Chris goes down to the basement, and the footage becomes increasingly creepier as Chris runs into a series of dead ends under the leaky, moldy ceiling.
Okay, I'm hearing something. Maybe it's an animal. There's animals down here.
You know, I'd feel pretty fucking cozy if there were animals there.
Exploration of the basement, he can be heard making comments about a strange noise coming from somewhere on that floor, and at first he seems to think it's an animal. Alarmingly, he finds a few shell casings on the ground from what was probably a 9mm handgun. Although it would be pretty unsettling to find something like this lying on the ground in an abandoned factory basement, it's worth mentioning that police departments often use abandoned buildings and complexes for training exercises. However, in this case, it's impossible to know if that's really what happened. Shortly after, he comes across a series of disturbing messages on the walls. He continues recording as he walks down narrow corridors, and this is where things get a lot more disturbing.
This place is so wet. Oh, you scared the out of me. Yo. You need some help, bro? Yo.
It's just a crack addict.
I'm gonna leave him alone. Get the out of his way.
After about 20 minutes of exploring, the visit takes a very dark turn as Chris runs into a hunched over man without a light at the far end of the room. He calls out to him and asks if he needs any help, but the man doesn't move or respond, and Chris decides to leave him alone. Understandably, Chris's breathing can be heard getting louder and heavier after the extremely unsettling encounter, but things were only about to get more disturbing for him.
I'm gonna help that dude out. I'm gonna get this dude a $20 bill. Yo. Hey, I got some money for you. He's not there, and he's not responding.
About 4 minutes later, Chris decides to go back to help the man out by giving him a $20 bill, but alarmingly, when he goes back to the room, the man is no longer there. This could be incredibly dangerous, as squatters are known to behave aggressively toward unwanted visitors. And because they know the place better than anyone else, they can easily hide in the shadows and attack or scare visitors when they least expect it. One theory that many viewers seemed to favor was that maybe the man was not a homeless person at all, but a gang member who was hiding from the shootout that could be heard at the beginning of the video. However, it's impossible to confirm if this was actually the case, and it seems pretty unlikely given his strange behavior. As he continues searching for the man, Chris notices bats flying around the basement, and things get even more eerie at this point.
There's a lot of bats down here, too.
Right when he walks into one of the rooms, if you look closely at the far left of the screen, you can actually see the man from earlier standing in what used to be a door frame, staring at Chris in the darkness. Alarmingly, Chris doesn't notice and continues walking. It's impossible to know how long the man had been following him, and in these kind of situations, it can be hard to gauge the squatter's intentions. A few minutes later, the squatter can be seen walking outside as cars pass by the side of the building. At one point, Chris mentions he thinks the guy said hello, but it can't be heard clearly through the camera audio. Just when he decides to head out, he hears a cell phone vibrate, indicating that there are more people down there with him hiding in the darkness. Having had enough disturbing encounters for the night, he decides to play it safe, and fortunately he was able to leave the building unharmed. He never found out who that man was, and since then he hasn't uploaded another video of the Westinghouse factory. This video was recorded in Tartu, Estonia, and uploaded to YouTube in August of 2016. In it, a group of 4 teenagers visit an abandoned sauna that was built more than a century ago in 1915, back when Estonia was still part of the Russian Empire. After fulfilling its purpose for 80 years, the sauna was decommissioned in 1995. The building remained abandoned for 23 years until in 2018 it was fully renovated and turned into a beauty salon, which is still operating as of this video's upload in 2023. In August of 2016, the uploader visited the abandoned location with 3 friends. Upon entering the building, you can see that it looks exactly what you would expect a building that has been abandoned for 21 years to look like. There's an insane amount of mold growing freely on the walls, the heaters are covered in a thick layer of rust, the floor is full of holes, and the entire structure looks like it could collapse at any second. Throughout the video, the teenage explorers also run into some disturbing messages on the walls. An especially eerie one reads, "You can't hide," and there are also several creepy drawings of stick figures graffitied on the walls in some of the other rooms. For the first few minutes of the visit, other than the disturbing messages and some loose shoes and other personal belongings, there doesn't seem to be any
I wish I
indication
could just touch that shit and get like a vision of the people drawing that shit on the walls. That'd be pretty fucking sick. I mean, shit. To be honest with you, man, she's a bad thing. Shit. To be honest with you, man, she's a bad thing. Thick as fuck. Oh my god, that's my baby.
Aren't I an amazing captain?
rocks.
know I'm
Set
not
a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
Oh, baby, can't you see?
Please, save me!
Stacy's mom has got it going on. That way for so long. Stacy, can't you see?
You're my
You're just
savior.
a girl for me. I'm in nothing wrong, but I'm in love with Stacy's mom. Stacy's mom has got it going on. Actually, you know what? I was thinking like maybe I should. Why did I do that? Go up to
Flying Nimbus! Uh-oh.
Oh, looky there. They can't move a muscle.
Everyone, lend me your energy! Spirit Bomb!
Ah, fucking piss.
Let's do this.
Fucking piss.
All right.
That's a new power key. Place it now.
God damn it, dude. I guess I can go to level 2. Oh, actually, I stay at level 1 for now.
Great. You know what to do with that key.
You alright? Flying Nimbus!
Well,
Who's this guy? I don't know him.
You alright?
I need your help. We don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in.
Well, this is going fucking great.
That's a new power key. Place it now. If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies.
Dude, his fucking attack did not even fucking touch me. That is so bullshit. This game's so ass. I'm not even gonna fucking do that. He's just gonna fucking dodge it anyways. Stacy's mom has got it going on. Dude, it's Spirit Bomb against Ginyu. Like this Like the small one, this fucking shit is not working. They just had to fucking get a combo in it on him, and then boom,
Startup system for the super time
beat his
machine is
ass.
ready. Head there now.
This is a nightmare. We're completely helpless here.
Everyone, lend me your energy. System is under attack. Stop it if you can, but retreat if you need to.
Spirit bomb. Everyone, lend me your energy. Spirit bomb. Spirit bomb. Uh-oh. Flying Nimbus.
Where?
Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them.
What?
They're close.
You've got all 7 Dragon Balls. Summon Shenron at the altar. The starter system's under attack. It's dangerous. So tread carefully. I'll send some supplies to help. Make good use of them.
Everyone.
Now, understood.
Lend me your energy. Spirit bomb.
The startup system's destroyed.
Are you, bro? What? What?
You need to head for the beacon that's indicated by a blue light.
What kind of bullshit is that? Oh, now he's gonna activate his shit. He couldn't just fucking be there and try to get him off the machine. It's kind of fucking pointless of you to attack now. It was saving up that fucking level 1 charge to be absolutely fucking useless. Where the fuck?
Flying Nimbus. What the hell just happened?
1 minute. We can do it if there's a if he like destroys now. Dude.
That body of yours is incredible. I think I'll take it for myself.
I've sent the escape time
Oh
machine.
god, dude, there's always some fucking knobhead.
Watch out for enemies. The escape time machine is back. Whenever you have a beacon, you can call it again.
They're close.
Aren't I an I kill you, Force! Perhaps I should have come up with a pose that's suitable for 3.
I really waited all that time to get this piece of shit game. Nice. Well, that's great fun. Fucking awesome. Absolutely amazing.
Somebody could be living there or had even visited the location recently. However, about 20 minutes into the visit, one of the teenagers finds a door frame covered by a curtain, and they decide to explore the room.
Good.
As one of the explorers shines a flashlight into the room, a gut-wrenching scream can be heard coming from the shadows. Immediately, the 4 teenagers run out of the building in a panic. When they finally step outside, the sun is already set, and the boys get into the car to flee from the location. Although the explorer was too busy running to show footage of the screaming man, it's more than likely that it was a homeless resident of the abandoned building who wasn't expecting visitors. Still, it must have been extremely disturbing to experience something like that, even if they went together as a group. After that day in 2016, the boys never went back to the abandoned sauna again. In March of 2022, YouTubers Meg and Chris uploaded a new video to their channel, Back in Time MC, in which they showed footage of their visit to a run-down old farmhouse somewhere in the UK. In the caption, they mentioned that they found an entry point through an open window around the side of the house. Based on the state of disarray the farmhouse is in, it's clear that nobody has been maintaining it for quite some time. The floor is covered in leaves and cobwebs, the shoes look dusty and unused, and there are even a couple of dead animals lying on the floor, along with some shotgun shells lying on top of a bedside table. The only clues that indicate somebody could have been at the location relatively recently are that one of the light bulbs in one of the bedrooms looks relatively new, and some of the clothes in the closet look only gently used. Based on the pictures that Chris finds on different shelves and hung up on the walls, it appears as if a family of at least 4 children used to live in the farmhouse. As the couple continues with the exploration, they walk into one of the upstairs bedrooms, where they find something very unexpected.
Absolutely nuts. Maybe we'll come into this bedroom here.
Oh, hello.
Wow. Oh my god. Hello. You're alive.
What?
You know, man,
You live in here, you can't live in here. Yeah? You
No.
can't. What do you mean you can't?
We thought it was abandoned. We thought it was abandoned.
You can't live in here.
When he first walked into the room, Chris didn't notice that there was someone asleep in the bed. It wasn't until Meg walked in and made a noise that the woman sleeping in the bed woke up and gave them the scare of their life. Although the uploaders blurred the woman's face out of respect for her privacy, it's clear that she's pretty old. During the conversation, she tells the couple that she doesn't have any family that could take her to live somewhere else less depressing. Out of sheer kindness, Chris and Meg keep the lady company and try their best to understand her situation. She introduces herself as Jane, and over the next 10 minutes they ask her questions about how she ended up living all alone in an abandoned farmhouse. Thanks to the couple's empathy, the initial shock of being startled by the sleeping old lady and seeing her living in such terrible conditions quickly turns into a heartwarming moment in which the 3 of them talk about each other's lives.
What happened was I came here to help somebody.
Okay.
And this is only for a week I'm coming.
Yeah.
And that was 1993.
Oh god.
Wow, so you've been here nearly 30 years.
Yeah.
Disturbingly, Jane mentioned she's been living in the abandoned farmhouse for 30 years, and even though Chris and Meg offer to help her, bring her food, and buy her clean clothes and sheets, she seems hesitant to accept anything from them, claiming that she's fine living the way she does. She mentions that even though it's not her house, the men who work at the farmhouse know she's there and they bring her food and water every day. In a touching moment at the end, the couple agrees with Jane to visit her again soon. This would have been a happy ending to the story, but Chris and Meg included a caption at the end of the video that cast the situation in a more disturbing light. The caption reads, "I did a lot of research to try and find the name of the farm and whom it was owned by. Luckily, I got the information needed, and I even got a message from someone who knew the farmer who farms there." Chris goes on to explain that the man who reached out to him also knew that Jane was living there, and that the farmer also lives in the farmhouse with her. According to the man, Jane is very well cared for, but she chooses to live in those terrible conditions anyway. The man also mentioned that Jane's husband is up there constantly to make sure she's okay, but she doesn't accept his help very easily, or anyone's help for that matter. It's worth mentioning that Jane might not have been completely truthful about her situation to Chris and Meg. During their conversation, she mentioned that she didn't have anyone to care for her except for the farmer, but the man who knew the farmer told Chris that she also has a brother who tries to take care of her. Not entirely convinced by what the man told him, Chris continued digging for information and found that the farm was not on any land registry records, but there was another property to Jane's name that she owned between 1986 and 2015. After visiting the other property, Chris mentioned that it was as unkempt and beat up as the farmhouse itself. Having heard two different versions of the story from the man who contacted him and from Jane herself, he decided to contact Adult Social Services. This is the email he received from them. Good morning, thank you for your email. I can confirm that Adult Social Care are aware of this lady, however, I'm not able to provide you with any further details. We appreciate your input and the information you have provided, and thank you for raising your concerns with us. Chris then told the man who contacted him to tell Jane that he and Meg would be happy to go back and visit her if she wanted them to. After this, there were no further updates on the old woman, and we'll likely never know what became of her. The only thing we know for sure is that if someone else decides to explore the abandoned farmhouse in the future, they'll likely run into the same situation as Chris and Meg. Sadly, this type of situation is much more common than many people realize. With rising prices and the overall state of the global economy, a large part of the elderly population is being forgotten. Hopefully, Jane can accept some help from her family members and live out the rest of her days in much better and healthier conditions than the one she was in when the video was uploaded. Robert Fulton Elementary is an abandoned school in a pretty rough neighborhood of Cleveland, Ohio. The building is 92 years old and has been abandoned for over 13 years. After several complaints from nearby residents who mentioned that the abandoned building was an eyesore, a potential crime hotspot, and that it was lowering the value of their properties, the mayor of Cleveland announced plans to turn the rundown old building into a high-quality, mixed-income housing unit for the community. Although the idea is still in the planning stages and the city needs more funding to complete the project, the plan is for the renovations to begin by the end of 2024. For now, Robert Fulton Elementary remains one of the creepiest abandoned schools in the country. In May of 2023, Chris Hill, again from the YouTube channel Urbex Hill, uploaded a video in which he made a second visit to the boarded-up, abandoned elementary school. The first video he made of the school was back in 2022. During his first visit, he heard strange humming, chanting, creaking, and banging noises coming from different rooms. This was part of the description in the first video. Most sections of the building are falling apart, and the water and elements have done irreversible damage to the structure. I would not recommend anyone explore this school. You risk getting robbed or worse. With that being said, I heard weird noises and other various things during my exploration. After these incidents, the vast majority of people would have been too terrified to even think of going back. But 2 years later, Chris decided to make a second visit to the school, alone at 1 a.m.
The decay is crazy in here.
From the very beginning of the footage, it's clear that Robert Fulton Elementary belongs in a different category of abandoned buildings than most others. What stands out the most about the building is the fact that just over a decade ago, children were learning in those classrooms, running and playing in the halls, and now it looks more like something out of a horror movie than a school. The eeriness of the location, the pitch darkness, and the extreme state of decay of the building all contribute to the school's incredibly creepy atmosphere, and not a lot of people would dare go in there at night, much less alone. For a building that has only been abandoned for 13 years, Robert Fulton Elementary is in a much worse state than other buildings that have been vacant for much longer. But Chris doesn't seem to mind as he captures footage of the dark corridors with peeling walls and random debris lying all over the floor. As he ventures deeper into the school, Chris starts hearing strange noises, but nobody seems to be around, and he continues his exploration in the chilling silence. The underlying structure in some of the rooms on the upper floors seems extremely unstable, but Chris shows his expertise in urban exploration by avoiding the surfaces that crack under his feet. After about 15 minutes of exploring the top floors, Chris goes down into the basement, which is arguably the most deteriorated part of the school. As he explores the dark rooms, he finds some indications that other people could be living there. Interestingly, he also finds what appears to be a boiler room that's been flooded with water. At around the 30-minute mark, a loud banging noise can be heard coming from one of the rooms, and it becomes very clear that Chris is not alone. As he steps into one of the classrooms, he finds a very eerie message written on the chalkboard, which reads, "Don't explore alone," as well as a paper sign on the door that reads, "Keep out." Despite the clear warnings, he goes inside, only to find more signs that somebody's living there. This is where Chris's visit to Robert Fulton Elementary takes a very chilling turn. Fearing for his life after hearing the blood-curdling scream, he sprints out of the building to safety, hoping that the man wasn't following him. If you look closely at the footage, you can see the outline of the screaming man when Chris peels back the curtain to his room. Upon reviewing the footage, outline of the screaming man when Chris peels back the curtain to his room. Upon reviewing the footage later that night, he found something else even more unsettling. When he first walked into the building, his camera caught something that he didn't notice at the time. In the distance, a man's shadow can be seen walking into one of the rooms. It's not clear where the man went after that, but based on the strange noises Chris heard throughout his visit, it's very likely that the man was watching him all along. Although the scream was terrifying to hear, and we can only imagine what Chris must have felt at that moment, it's worth mentioning that the room he entered was probably the man's home, and from the squatter's perspective, it was probably just as terrifying to see a random man pull back the curtain to his room. These kinds of encounters can often get violent very quickly, but thankfully Chris once again made it out safely. He hasn't uploaded new footage of the location since then. This footage was uploaded in October 2019 by YouTuber Baker X Derek, a tour guide from San Bernardino, California. One day, as he was riding his motorcycle on the highway in California, he noticed an abandoned house sitting on top of a hill and decided to take a look inside. From the very beginning of the footage, it becomes clear that somebody has already been there, and that it probably wasn't the original owners of the house. Footage was sitting on top of a hill and decided to take a look inside. From the very beginning of the footage, it becomes clear that somebody has already been there, and that it probably wasn't the original owners of the house. Unlike many abandoned buildings, you can tell this house used to be beautiful before it was vacated, but that doesn't make it any less creepy to visit, even in the middle of the day.
Ooh. Heebie-jeebies, dude. Dude, that dark room. I kept feeling something was gonna jump out at me. What's down here?
The heebie-jeebies.
I think I hear somebody. I think I hear something.
Derek goes down to explore one of the rooms on the bottom floor, and this is where he hears a disturbing thud. Terrified, he makes a run for it and even trips and falls on his way out, but eventually he gets back on his motorcycle and flees the location. As per one of the most popular theories proposed by viewers, the noise was probably made by a homeless person who was trying to warn Derek to get out of his home. Although squatters don't spend all their time lurking in the shadows, it's common for them to use the darkness as a tool when someone comes into the building unannounced. It's a basic rule of urban exploration that if you hear a loud noise upon entering a room, you should probably leave. Sometimes squatters make a noise as a first and final warning to drive visitors away respectfully. If Derek had pushed forward, he may have been attacked by whoever was hiding in the darkness. It's a natural impulse to call out and announce your presence in these kinds of situations, but squatters will very rarely answer these calls in a normal way. Nobody likes to be seen living in those conditions, and more often than not, the response will be rather aggressive and sometimes even violent. Fortunately, in this case, Derek was able to get away from the potentially dangerous situation just in time. In central Ontario, Canada, there's a small community south of Port Elgin known as North Bruce. To the locals, however, it's known as the Devil's Elbow. According to John, the urban explorer who uploaded this video, the reason for the name was that there was once an occult high priest who lived in the mansion at a cul-de-sac, in which the townspeople used to think there was paranormal activity due to the occult rituals the priest used to perform in his home. The mansion has since been abandoned, and as of today, nobody wants to buy it or live in it due to its chilling atmosphere and sketchy past. According to John, some renovations have been made sporadically since the house was vacated, but as of the video's upload, the house was still abandoned. In 2019, John set out to explore the occult mansion alone at night, but things didn't go exactly as he planned. In comparison to other abandoned buildings, the mansion seems to be in relatively good shape, except for the garage, which has clearly seen better days. About 5 minutes into the exploration, John starts to hear strange noises upstairs, but they seem to quiet down as soon as he climbs the set of stairs.
Okay, guys, I think I've been hearing stuff upstairs, but I'm hoping, and I mean this, I really hope that it's paranormal and not someone freaking in here. Freaking somebody down there, dude. Come on, quit messing with me. I'm just trying to freaking. I'll leave. There's something else in here. As I've got myself in a bad situation. Oh, jeez.
Disturbingly, as he walks around upstairs, the noises can be heard again, even louder this time, leading John to think that perhaps someone else is in there messing with him. Although he mentions loudly to whoever is in there with him that his only intention is to explore and that he doesn't want to bother anyone, whoever was making the noise doesn't respond and continues hiding. The noises stop for a couple minutes, but then something terrifying happens.
Oh my god, Freelander. Hello? Is there somebody here? I'm not here to bother or rob anything. I was just here exploring. I thought it was a band.
Disturbingly, a man's voice can be heard screaming, "I'm gonna kill you," and before catching a glimpse of who it is, John runs out of the mansion immediately and doesn't look back until he's a safe distance away from the building. It's unknown who was in the house or how long they had been watching him, or even if they had bad intentions or were just messing with him. According to several viewers, it's very unlikely that the other person in the house was another explorer. In the urban exploration community, people usually help each other out, and there's a sort of code that every explorer sticks to in order to help keep creepy locations as safe to visit as possible. If the other person in the house was another explorer, making noises in an abandoned house and screaming, "I'm going to kill you," would obviously be very out of the ordinary. That leaves the question of who could have screamed at John. It's more than likely that it was just a homeless person who didn't want any visitors, but because John ran out before he could see anyone, this much will probably remain unknown forever. In April 2019, a YouTuber named Jason uploaded a video to his channel, Happy Mountain Trekkers, in which he recorded footage of his solo overnight trip to the mountains.
I found 2 fucking
His
games.
channel is dedicated to all things outdoors,
Like
in which Jason
17
frequently
fucking
uploads
minutes.
videos of his adventures hiking, camping, and surviving in the woods. In this particular video, his hike up to the mountain is pretty uneventful, and as soon as he arrives at the campsite, Jason begins setting up his tent and shows his viewers how he starts a fire as the sun begins to set. As he
One
waits for the
fucking
day to
person
end,
leaves,
he tries
I
his
am
luck at
closing the
spoon
game.
carving, and this is when he reports hearing a strange sound coming from the top of one of the mountains, but he writes it off as a bird or some other small animal and continues setting up for the night. At about 9 o'clock, he turns his camera off to go to bed, but less than an hour later, he wakes up to a strange sound that he says he's never heard before in his life. He mentions it sounded like some sort of guttural animal call, but because it came from pretty far away, he couldn't identify what it was.
It sounded like a mix between almost like a pig, some kind of, I hate to even say it, but a pig, an ape, and the calls almost sounded like how the velociraptors communicate with each other on Jurassic Park. I've never heard anything like that in my life.
Still shaken after the rude awakening, he tries to go back to bed, but just a few hours later at around 1 a.m., he wakes up again to what he describes as the sound of something or someone circling his tent.
Whatever it is, it's close.
Yo, people gotta start buying fucking flares, so you can see in all directions.
If you look closely at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you can see the reflection of what appears to be 1 or 2 sets of eyes as he pans his flashlight over them. Although there are many animals with eyes that reflect light at night, based on the flashlight
Are you
over
talking
them,
about fucking this?
although there are many animals
That's the
with
fucking fire.
eyes that reflect light at night, based on the flashlight over the screen, you can see the reflection of what appears to be 1 or 2. If you look closely at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen,
Bottom left-hand corner. That's.
you can see the reflection of what appears to be 1 or 2 sets of eyes.
Bottom left-hand corner. That's in the ground. That's the fucking ground, and it's the fire. Stacy's mom has got it going on. Stacy, can't you see? You're just not the girl for me. But I'm in love with Stacy's mom. Stacy's mom has got it going on.
Can you hear me? It's Trunks. I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys. Then place them in the right spots.
Wait, if I press the X, does that cancel?
They're close.
You found a power key. Go slot it. An ally needs your help. We don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in. I sent you a super transfer. Use it to hold the enemy back.
Kaioken!
Yeah, it does. It cancels earlier. That's good to know. $40 seconds less of waiting for IT.
Hey, great! You found another power
You know what?
key. Use it
Fuck, this sounds to be basically this. I mean, yeah, it's pretty. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna use it on him. Or not. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. Probably won't even be needing that.
That's a new power key. Place it now. Hey, great! You found another power key. Use it quick.
Oh, we're finding keys though.
Ally down! If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies.
Someone save me!
serious?
I ain't even fucking risking it. Oh, bro.
That's a new power key. Place it now.
Can you just fucking let me open it? Okay.
Thanks.
Well, unfortunately, we could not get all the keys done. Or wait, maybe that didn't cancel it. Dude, water OP?
Flying Nimbus!
I sent a new super transfer. Sorry, that'll have to do for now.
You serious?
Dude, why does he keep doing that? I'm not even fucking pushing it. They're fucked. I messed up. Is it coming over here? No, it's not. Wait, was I level 3 the entire time? Oh my god, dude. I thought I was still level 2. Whoops! Could have done some damage, dude. What the fuck? Well, I did some damage. 2 counters, pretty good. Well, I can buy 1.
Access the startup system from the central area. Just a little more to go, then you're done.
Uh-oh.
Shouldn't there be 2 boxes? Well, there are a couple of boxes. Let me get my fucking, my thing.
Kaioken! All right! Uh-oh.
An ally needs your help. You know the danger awaits. Think before rushing in.
Oh my god, now it, fuck you.
Hang in there!
I owe you.
I'll send some supplies to help. Make good use of them.
Kaioken! Ah! Flying Nimbus!
I think there was an extra cooldown drink over here.
They're close.
Dude, oh, can we get 50 more? Yes. 2 cooldown drinks.
Welcome. Close.
I gotta go, because it might blow up. It's not.
The startup system's under attack. It's dangerous, so tread carefully if you want to get closer. This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them. I sent you a super transfer. Use it to hold the enemy back.
Dude, are you fucking pissing me, man? Where the fuck did she go? Bruh! Alright, Alright, so they're gonna win, and now you completely fucked up by doing that stupid shit. Never mind, they lost. They probably lost. I mean, he wasn't even aiming at me. But that guy went in for a fucking combo somehow because he turns around. That shit went at me.
I've sent the escape time machine. Use it to get out of there.
Don't!
Time machine is back. Whenever you have a beacon, you can
Fight! He's half HP almost. Oh my god, dude. All some fucking pussies, man. Y'all are some fucking pussies. Like, really? Like, you really think you can fucking win that? Like, why the fuck am I sitting here for 10 minutes trying to find a game for you to be like, I'm scared of dying. It's a fucking video game. Fucking do something. You've had those, you took all 3 of those and you fucking fell short every time. And now you go out of your way, you let me die, so you take it just to fucking do nothing. Fucking pathetic,
Onyx as he
man.
pans his flashlight over them. Although there are many animals with eyes that reflect light at night, based on the fiery white color of the reflection, it's very likely that Jason was being observed by wolves or coyotes.
That was very likely. That was
Dog's
the
eyes will
fucking
also give
fire
infrared
from his
reflection.
tent. Because his tent is right fucking here.
But considering that it was around 1 a.m.
Like,
when this
bro.
happened, it's unlikely that a dog would be walking around in the mountains so close to his campsite. Coyote and wolf attacks on humans are rare, as both species tend to avoid human contact, but they can still become very aggressive if they feel threatened.
How the fuck can
especially
you
if
not
they're puffed
see it
and
was the
blind.
fire?
If this were the case, Jason would be in grave danger, but chillingly, he doesn't even seem to notice the eyes watching him as he scans the
Like,
area
this
with
guy
his
is so
flashlight.
bent on making
Luckily,
a
he went
scary
back to his
video, he
tent
will
and
just
slept safely through the
completely
night. When he woke up the next morning, he recorded another update for his
delude
viewers,
himself into
but he never
thinking
mentioned the eyes that
something
his camera had captured the night before,
is something
suggesting he might have never
completely
noticed.
not true.
After this video, there were no
Just for
additional
it to be
updates on the
scary.
incident.
Well, scary. Fucking
In
wolves,
2021,
yeah,
YouTuber Matt
terrifying.
Fields spent the night in a dark cave in the middle of nowhere in Australia after his friend told him about an unsettling experience he had in that cave and dared him
Like,
to
if you're
spend the night
camping
there
without
alone.
a fucking knife, you're doing something
Matt's channel
wrong,
is a
man.
bit more extreme than other outdoor exploration channels, and his videos often feature him leaving civilization behind and going to remote locations for days, living only off the fish he catches and the animals he hunts. In the video, he mentions that he didn't bring any water to the trip, hoping to find water to drink in the cave. After about 4 hours of walking,
Yikes.
he finally finds the cave and climbs down the man-made ladder inside. Venturing deeper inside the cave, Matt crawls into the different holes he finds to see if any of them lead anywhere. Around this time, he started hearing a couple of rocks falling near the entrance, and the sound of some sort of animal walking around. At one point in the video, he mentions he feels like he's being watched, and things get a little more disturbing at around 11 p.m. when he begins to eat his baked beans for dinner.
That is beautiful. Baked beans in a haunted cave. is the sound. Did you hear that? Look at my arms. I got full goosebumps. It's the chains moving when I climb down the ladder. It's a big, heavy, thick chain. Wind can't move that.
When Matt recorded this video, it wasn't a windy night at all, and the fact that the chain is moving can only mean that there's someone or something down there with him.
That chain moved just then. It is 100% now. I heard it before. I'm 100% certain it's the chain that I walked in, that you climbed down into this cave on. It's moving. Now, you can't move that chain with wind. It's way too
Like,
heavy. There's
you have Gogeta.
There's no wind.
Broly's at half HP. It's not fucking impossible to win. Might be unlikely, but the chances far outweigh the fucking,
You must have heard that just then.
What the fuck? What?
Look at my arms, dude. Oh, this...
The chances of winning outweigh the fucking ETM reward, dude. Like, if you
Okay.
ETM at all,
I've got my backpack
you
back
suck.
on, and I'm booting on out of here. I just heard a sound. It's not normal. It's definitely not a normal sound, and I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably about 2 hours, 2.5 hours after I checked in with you guys, so it would be around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and that sound was not normal. I'm getting out of here.
After the creepy noises subside, he changes his mind about leaving the cave and decides to spend the rest of the night near the entrance. A couple of hours later, he reported hearing hissing sounds that sounded like human voices, but after walking around the cave, he couldn't find anything that could be making those noises. Aside from big animals, the worst thing that could have happened to Matt is to have come across a hostile squatter living in the cave, although it's unclear why anyone would want to live down there. Fortunately, he made his way out of the cave safely as soon as the sun rose, and never went back to that cave again. Roadie is a channel dedicated to off-the-grid living, in which the uploader usually posts videos about what life is like living out of his truck and traveling around the country. The videos are usually pretty cool, with an emphasis on the beauty of nature and independent living. But this particular video is a bit more disturbing than the rest. In December 2017, Roadie uploaded footage of an incident that took place earlier that year while he was car camping in a parking lot. At around 1:30 a.m., a hooded man started walking around his truck and taking pictures of his license plates. Because the back of the truck where the uploader was sleeping was pretty much pitch black, the man probably didn't see anyone in there and continued to suspiciously walk around the truck for several minutes, unaware that he was being recorded. After a while, the man makes his way to the side of the truck and tries to shine the flashlight inside, which is when the uploader decides to take action to protect himself and let the man know he's there. Immediately after the uploader bangs his fist on the inside of the truck, the suspicious man runs away. It's unclear what exactly he planned to do, but based on his behavior, it couldn't have been anything good, and he was probably planning a carjacking. Fortunately, the uploader was able to get away safely and spend the night elsewhere. Gary and Amica are a father-daughter duo from Scotland who make videos about their travels around Europe in their camper van. The videos are usually pretty wholesome and entertaining, but in this particular video, Gary and Amica had a pretty disturbing encounter. This footage was uploaded in March of 2023 during a trip to Tensmuir Forest in North Fife, Scotland. As they were walking through the woods, Amica told her dad she heard voices somewhere near them, and after searching for a while, this is what they found.
We just stopped to have a look in these woods. Look at how scary that is. Put the torch on. Here's even one on the ladders.
Oh, there's someone lying on the ground. Without
Falling over. Look at the one on the ladders going up the tree.
Oh, yeah.
What about the washing line over there to the left? Yeah, there. Keep it there. That is weird, isn't it?
One over there that isn't actually a person.
In addition to dozens of creepy mannequins dressed up in costumes, they came across some pretty unsettling paintings hanging outside the little cabin in the middle of the woods. I did some research and found several other channels that featured the strange cabin, but the only information I could find was that the mannequins and paintings were probably set up there at some point in 2021. It's unknown what exactly the purpose of all this is, but whoever set it up clearly went through a lot of trouble to make it as creepy as possible. As Gary and Amica make their way out of the woods, a car starts to approach them from the other side, and Gary starts to get a little freaked out. Fortunately, they were able to make it back to the van without having to cross the car's path. As of this video's upload, there have been no further updates on the creepy discovery. In 2018, a YouTuber named John uploaded this video to his channel Lost Lakes, in which he posts about his backcountry camping adventures in Canada. The video was taken at around 3:30 a.m. at a remote location west of Chapleau, Ontario, where, according to John, there was no cell phone signal.
Well, I am living every solo camper's nightmare right now. There appears to be an animal of some kind pacing around my tent. It's the middle of the night, and then around 3:30, I started to hear this pacing sound, and 45 minutes later, it's still pacing around out there.
Considering he was camping in a remote location in the black bear capital of the world, it's very likely that there was a bear or some other large animal outside the tent. Although it's rare for bears to attack campers, it has been known to happen. Other animals such as moose or wildcats can also pose a threat to campers if they ever feel threatened or provoked, and in those cases, a feeble camping tent won't offer a lot of protection against an angry 600-pound animal. It's much more common for people to be harassed by other people than by animals, but in this case, the footsteps don't sound very human. To maintain sanity, John shows his viewers the things he brought along on his camping trip to protect himself against animals, which include a hatchet, bear spray, and an air horn. Near the end of the video, he mentions his car is right outside the tent, but he can't find his key and probably left it in the car. But in the end, he slept through the night safely. He never found out what exactly was walking around his tent that night. Most campers will say they're more afraid of running into ill-intentioned people rather than aggressive animals on their camping trips, and this footage is the perfect example of why. Love Sundays is a channel run by a man named Sean who uploads videos of his solo camping adventures in the UK. In a video he uploaded in September 2022, he shows what happened one night when he camped on the side of the road in Cornwall. Technically, he wasn't supposed to be camping there due to parking regulations, so he made every effort possible to make it seem less obvious that he would be spending the night on the side of the road. Before the sun sets, he goes into his van and starts making dinner, making as little noise as possible to avoid unwanted attention. At around 9 p.m., he turns off the lights and goes to bed. Everything seems to be going just fine, but at around 2 a.m., Sean's night takes a pretty unsettling turn. It's not uncommon for solo campers to be asked to move somewhere else in the middle of the night, especially when you're parked somewhere where you're not supposed to be. But in this case, it's highly unlikely that this was a police officer or some other person with the authority to tell him to move, as in these cases, they would almost always knock first and announce themselves verbally. Once they have your attention, they'll ask you to leave, but they won't just walk up to a van on the side of the road and start trying the door handle without announcing their intentions. It's much more likely that someone was trying to break into Sean's van. Luckily, whoever was trying to break in left after only a few seconds.
What's going on, guys? They're getting here back with the Breakers video, and in today's video, I'm here to discuss pretty much all of the upcoming transfers that have been either teased or leaked in Dragon Ball: The Breakers. So in year one, from without inabilities that were leaked in data mined from the game, like when the game.
At around 11 p.m. on December 6, 2016, a man named Julio Perez went with his friend to a convenience store a couple of blocks away from his house. According to what he shared online 2 days after, his friend had been afraid to go by herself because the store parking lot was known to be unsafe after dark. After spending some time at the store and buying dinner at Carl's Jr., Julio said bye to his friend and pulled out of the parking lot. But just a few seconds later, a red car can be seen pulling out of the same parking lot and starting to follow him on his way home. Disturbingly, as soon as Julio arrives at the stop sign, the red Chrysler can be seen pulling up right in front of him and blocking his path.
So, hit me up tomorrow then. Later. Always. I'll play that shit.
Given the circumstances, Julio reacted much quicker than most people would. As soon as he saw someone about to get out of the red car, he put the car in reverse and skillfully backed away. Unfortunately for him, the driver of the red car refused to give up so easily and continued to follow closely.
It is, man. Wait for me. I don't know who that is. Man. What you doing, dude?
At one point during the chase, the attackers throw an unidentified object at Julio's car in an effort to get him to stop. This is when he decides to call 911 for help.
911. Hey, man. 911 emergency. Hey, there's a car following me. He's throwing shit at me. I'm on Lomas going eastbound, and he's I don't know what he's doing, man. Hey, Lomas, and what's the closest cross street? Right now, San Pedro. It's a red light. Holy shit. I mean, they're I don't know what they're trying to do, man. Oh my God, man. You see what it looks like? It's a red Chrysler 300. Holy cow. Are they still throwing things? They're just right behind me. I don't know what they're doing, man.
Although the 911 operator was probably dispatching units as they spoke, it would have probably taken the officers at least a few minutes to arrive, which would